Hi everyone, you're all welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to make this gathered bubble crop top. If this is your first time of being here, thank you for joining us. If you're yet to subscribe to the channel, do hit on the red button to subscribe, like, share, and also drop a comment. Okay, so this is the fabric that I'll be using for this tutorial. This Duchess, I made use of 1.5 yards of this Duchess fabric. I went ahead to cut out this piece. Is on fold. This is for the front part of our top. All right, the total length I have here is 18 inches. I'll be using 1 inch to mark out my start line at the top, and I have 17 inches left. To achieve that 17 inches, which is the half length of this top, I measured my underbust, which is 14 inches, and I added extra 2.5 inches to create that bubble effect. The remaining half inch will be used to join the half length of the top to the band. All right, so the width of this front piece, the width of the top is 22 inches. To achieve this, I divided my shoulder measurement of 16 inches by 2, which gave me 8 inches. Then I added my sleeve length, which is 12.5 inches, plus 1.5 inches for hemming the sleeve, which gave me a total of 22 inches. I'll be cutting the front and the back together. This is the back piece. The only difference is the zipper allowance at the back. So as you can see, I already went ahead to mark out 2 inches for my zipper allowance. I'll go on and place the front on it, starting from that 2 inches point where the 2 inches stopped. That's where I placed front piece. I'll go ahead and align it, arrange it properly to make sure everything is well aligned, so it won't affect the measurement. I'll take my neck width. Look at where I placed my tape on the front pattern, okay, not from the zipper allowance. I marked 3.5 inches for my neck width for both the front and the back, and 1.5 inches for the back neck depth, and I also marked 3 inches for the front neck depth. I went ahead to create my curve around that area. I'll go over to my sleeve length and I'll be coming down at that point by 1 inch. This is to create a shoulder slope. So at that point, I'll come down by 1 inch. You can also use 1.5 inches if you will. I'll create a line connecting it to my neck width. I'll mark my sleeve opening at this point. I made use of 9.5 inches. I'll mark it at that point. And then right at that point, I'm going to come in by 4 inches. I'm still going to hem my sleeve using 1.5 inches. So that's why I came in by 4 inches. So after hemming, I still have enough room. Okay, so I'll go on and connect the line all the way to the hem of my top. I'll connect the lines like this, and I'll create a bit of a curve around that armhole area. All right, so I'll also go on and add my sewing allowance to my shoulder. I will extend it at that upside by ½ inch. So that is why I always leave space when starting my drafting, so I could have sewing allowance along the shoulder. So you can see I've marked out my ½ inch at the shoulder area, and I went ahead to connect it. Next is to cut out my top. Remember to cut out the back neckline first. After you're done, you can now go ahead to recut that of the front. If you're here to subscribe to my channel, click on the red button to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up so this video can get to a wider audience. And if you have questions, drop it in the comment section. So after cutting, I'll go on and create my facing. I'll be cutting out my facing. Now you can use your bias tape if you want, and you can also cut out a facing for this. So I'll be cutting out a facing. I went ahead to mark out 4 inches. I want my facing to be 4 inches long at the length and also at the shoulder 4 inches. So I'll go on and cut out the neck area first, just like this. Okay, after cutting it, I'm going to cut on the shoulder as well. Then I'll move the actual fabric, and you can go on to mark how you want the facing shape to be, or you can just cut it straight on. So this is what I have. I'll also be doing same thing with the back part of this top. The next thing is to sew along the neckline. So I'll be using the facing, right face facing each other. I'll go over to my sewing machine. I'll use 1/2 inch to sew it all round, and I'll notch before turning over. I'll do the same thing with the back part of the top. Go ahead and split it into 2. If you have not done that, so I'm splitting it at this point, and I'm going to be attaching my facing, right face facing each other. I'll use 1/2 inch to sew as well. Same thing with the other part of it. So I'm done, and this is what I have for the front. Okay, I went ahead to notch. You can see the tiny cuts that I made. That's notching. You can also trim out any excess fabric that you have. All right, so trim and turn. I did same thing with the back parts of my top. Okay, so the next thing is to join it at the shoulder, joining the front and the back together along the shoulder. So I'm going to connect them like this, right face facing each other. I'll place them like this. Okay, and I'm going to pick the facing from the back, and I'll bring it all the way to the front, just like you see me doing right now. I'll go over to my sewing machine. I'll use 1/2 inch to sew it all the way down. After joining my shoulder, you can see how neat it's looking at that point. And I also went ahead to iron my seam open at the shoulder, and I also folded the hemming allowance for my sleeve, which is 1.5. I'll go over to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew it down. So guys, I'm done sewing my sleeve, hemming my sleeve, and this is what I have. The next thing is to connect at the sides. Okay, so I'm going to be sewing at the sides. I'll use 1 inch to sew it all the way down. I'll follow the line like this. I'm done sewing the front and the back together. Okay, so I'll go on and notch that curved area. You can see how I'm cutting through it. Be careful not to cut your stitches. So here I have my band. This is the band I'll be attaching the upper part to. The width of this band is my waist measurement plus my zipper allowance. Okay, so now the length is 10 inches when opened, and while on fold is 5 inches. I also went ahead to add interfacing. I used paper stay. So you can see while on fold the length is 5 inches. I'll be attaching the top to it, but before then I'm going to create my gathers. I'm going to take it over to my sewing machine and I'll run a loose stitch at that waist part. After running the stitch, I'll go on and begin to pull the thread. Just pick one of the threads like this. Just pick one and you begin to pull the fabric in order to create your gathers. Okay, if you don't know how to create your gathers, watch how I'm going about this. Pull your fabric like this and you can see that it's already gathering up. So I'm going to do this until get my round waist plus the zipper allowance. So after gathering, this is what I have. You can also make pleats if you want, okay? You must not gather this way. You can also decide to pleat your blouse. So I'll go on and attach it to my band like this, right face facing each other. And I'm going to use my pins to secure it in place and make sure everything equalizes. The gathers are equal on all sides. Use your pin to secure it. Arrange your gathers very well. So guys, at this point, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please do hit on the red button to subscribe, and do not forget to like, guys. Please like the video so it can get to a wider audience. I'll go over and sew it. I'm done sewing, and this is what I have. You can see how the blouse is looking, the gathered blouse with the balloon effect. It's also a crop top. Now you can also use Ankara for this style. I think Ankara will bring out the style more. Okay, these Duchess on Ankara stands. A fabric that stands is going to bring out that puffiness more than a slippery kind of fabric. Okay, so this is my sleeve. Now to create the ruched effect at the sleeve, I'm going to be using this elastic, or I'll be attaching elastic. My sleeve length after hemming is around 16 inches. So you can either cut elastic half of what you have, which is 8 inches, or if you do not want it ruched so much, you can use around 10 inches like I'm doing. So I cut out elastic of about 10 inches. I cut out 2, 1 for each sleeve. Okay, so now to attach this elastic to my sleeve, I'm going to open up the sleeve like this, and I'll be fixing it in between. You see how I open the seam around the shoulder, the excess around the shoulder. It makes it easier. So I'll just fix it like this, and I'll go over to my machine while I pull it, and I'm going to be sewing as well. I'm done sewing, and this is what the sleeve is looking like. You can see the ruched effect at that point, and this is what the inside part is looking like. So this is what I have. Next is to attach my zipper. Okay, I've already gone ahead to create a crease line at that zipper point there, which will make it easier for me. And I also added interfacing at that point where I'll be attaching my zipper. I used paper stay because this fabric is stretchy. I always do this when working on a stretchy fabric to give me that perfect and finished look. Okay, if you want your zipper to lay flat when working on a stretchy fabric, do this. If you do not do this and you just attach your zip to a stretchy fabric, you're going to be having that spiral kind of effect, you know, which is not good. All right, so now this I'm going to be attaching the zip. I'll place it like this. Okay, following the crease line, I'll use my pins to hold it down. I'm going to do this all the way down. All right, after doing this, I'll take it over to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch it all down. I'm done stitching that side. All right, so this is what I have. After stitching that point down, I'll go on and turn it like this. Look at how I'm going about it for those that do not understand. And then I'll bring the other part like this. Make sure it aligns properly. And then I'll still go over again to my sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch it down following the crease line again. I'm using my pins to hold it. You can use your pins to hold it all the way down. All right, it's going to make the process a lot easier. I'm done sewing, and you can see how flat my zipper is laying. So this is it, guys. If you're yet to subscribe to my channel, please do not forget to hit on the red button to subscribe. Give us a thumbs up, drop a comment, okay, if you have a question, and see you all in my next video. Bye, stay blessed.